In the Gold Prayer Book, please turn to page 27, and we'll start with the 7 limb prayer. Page 27. Gosum gupe gone chatselo ngsham yi tu chuti malubu tomene sadi tuntam sheshak Kepage wanam la jeirang Korwa matom bardu le june Drola cheki kolo korwa dang Da jengena janchu chen pongo. I'll turn to page 97. At the bottom of the page you see short mandala offerings, so we'll chant that. Saji perki jushing metok tamri rabliji nitegen padi Sangye Jindu Mi Te Uwa Yidro Gunam Dak Shin La Chur Parshok Jetu Lama Dampa Kena Kichur Kukala Kense Jujintri Jitat Sampe Dujetsima Lasha Yecherki Sharpawaptu Sir Idam Guru Ratamandalakam Niryatayami Judan Soki Chonam La Janchu Bardu Dani Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyangi Pesunam Gi Dola Penchur Sangetu Pasho Donam La Janchu Bardu Dani Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyangi Pesunam Gi Dola Penchur Sangetu Pasho Judan Soki Chonam La Janchu Bardu Dani Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyangi Pesurnam Gi Dola Penchur Sangetu Pasho Welcome back.
So I forgot to bring another frog. I have another one. So that has lotus. They're sitting on the lotus with the meditation positions. I think frog make progress before than cat. Maybe if you don't mind to introduce to yourself to each other, maybe before we start class, so please. Not so easy. Amala, did Chugila send you something? Chugila? No.
Not coming.
So the Chugila translated the title of the text, so I forgot to bring. It's okay, Tamala, it's okay.
She thinks it might be this first one. Very short, very secret short remarks on the critical points of the middle way, view of the source of all goodness.
Okay, so that's very good. Yeah. So,
Is that right?
yeah. Not me, frog. It's not me, it's frog. I'm so happy to have somebody to blame. It's not me, it's frog to ring the bell. Oh, yeah, thank you very much, thank you. So, now back to the explanation on Tinjung. So you could say we are studying, Wednesday night we are studying like interdependence. Interdependence. Tinjung. Because of this and that happens, because of that and that happens. It's like, it's not random or coincident or accidents. Because of this and because of this and that happened, like that. It's called interdependent, called Tenjung. Don't know how to say it in Sanskrit, but what we are trying to figure it out by learning about interdependence. First and foremost important thing is to recognize that your world, your individual world, your universe, is the result of your perceptions. What do you think? Tobe ongi jigden nam tate. That's what Nagarjuna said. Tobe ongi jigden nam tate. So, Toba is like conceptual thought. That's called Toba. So because the conceptual thought, then perceive everything that five objects, like form that include shape, colors, sound, pleasant, unpleasant, neutrals, smell, pleasant, unpleasant, neutrals, taste, pleasant, unpleasant, neutrals, tactile, pleasant, smooth, rough, neutrals. These are called like five objects of desire realms, the realms that we are part of. That was the name of their realms called desire realms, because desire has a lot of influence on the life. So that's what we're trying to learn, like one's own universe or one's own world. If that is the result, if that is our perception, what it means like, if that is like, that world is imputed by our thought, mainly conceptual thought, like this is like eye consciousness, this is not conceptual thought, that's like called direct perceiver. It just perceive object directly, it doesn't go through something. So then the second moment, it kind of leaves some kind of a tendency that produce conceptual thought. Conceptual thought, even though you are not perceiving the object directly, but you have some ideas about the object, because object that has been seen before, then over time you still have this, there's some thought that rise based on mental image. That's called conceptual thought. So that's the one that impute things, good, bad, neutrals, project things on the object. So that is something very important to understand. So now similarly here, like when you say, I am very unhappy, or maybe I shouldn't say I'm very unhappy, I'm extremely happy. I should say, that's the possible. So when we say I'm extremely happy, but generally speaking, people don't bother to analyze each time when they experience self or I, they don't analyze what is self, they don't analyze. Actually, that is also is also perception. Perceptions is also perception. It's not something that solid, inherent, absolute. It's also perceptions, perceived by your own thought, mainly conceptual thought. So then that conceptual thought, then the projects based on that experience of self, based on the experience of self, then project many, many things. So why is so important? Because right from the beginning, everybody, Buddhist, not Buddhist, believer, not believer, doesn't matter. Everybody, right from the beginnings, they become attached to the self, notion of self. They become attached. So that's why it's so important to find out how you define self. That's very important, because you become attached to that idea of self or notion of self. Right from the beginning, nobody teaches us. It's just automatic. If you say to yourself, "Tambu ngashen dala shenjujis." Shen means like da means self. Shen means like you cling so tightly on that. Then from there, then you say my. My people, my tradition, my culture, my religion, my idea, my way, all of that, so on and so forth. If we don't analyze, if we just let it be, so then so there could be the foundation of all the problems that we experience. Dagi dishingula chargeable. Then from there, then you become attached to my body, my culture, my tradition, my language, my way of life, my idea, my plan, my choice. List goes on and on and on. Dagi dishingula chargeable. Sojun chuntaros. So that's how that's how it seems like, it feels like this problem never ends. Problem never ends. It feels like problem never ends. Wherever you go, there you are. So that means it seems like it never ends. It goes round and round, round and round. So ancient time, the farmers, the way they get the water into their rice field, so they have this they build this wells. It's wells that has small bucket. There's many buckets, like wells. And it's like that. It goes round and round and round and round. One goes down, bring water, then goes up, then goes down. This goes just round and round. So not just you, everybody else, everybody else feels and seems problem never ends. Therefore, that's the foundations why we need to show compassion. that's the foundation for the universal compassion. That knowledge or that realizations that everybody is going through the same kind of problem, like circle around again, one after another, one after another. Sujichunda Rama Mebayin Rola Ningjes. Therefore, practice compassion. That means everybody deserves to be loved, deserve to be cared. It's not based on race, it's not based on culture, it's not based on religion, it's not based on traditions, it's based on problem they feel or they seems never ends, goes round. In that case, everybody is the same. Everybody is the same. So that's the foundation, according to Buddhist philosophy, that's the foundation for universal compassion. So that knowledge and so then deeper understanding, what you call realization, is needed in order to develop universal compassion. That's the foundations. Rola needs to tell us this. Compassion to yourself, that foundation is needed. That foundation is needed. That is the situations. That is the condition. That's the situations. So that's the foundations to develop compassion towards yourself, towards others. That's the foundations. There's always base or foundations to have compassion to yourself. It's not like once in a while I deserve compassion, so the other time I don't deserve compassion. It's not like that. Till you reach fully enlightenment, you always deserve. How is it? Deserve to be compassion?
Deserve to have compassion.
Yeah, you always deserve. Till you reach enlightenment, you always deserve to have compassion. Deserve to be? To have?
To have.
To receive.
Or just deserve compassion.
Yeah, to receive compassion. Deserve compassion. It's not like, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's not like that. No. Why? Because the foundation is like the problem that you experience is like that's like the wheel that the farmer used in the rice field. It's like that. It goes round, never ends. Okay? So that's very important. I think that's very important. It will heal once you understand that realization is badly needed in 21st century all over the world. Because there's so much problem not knowing the foundation for the universal compassions, and there's fighting for like secondary level differences, religions, culture, traditions. All of this is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So now you understand why it's so important to analyze your own sense of self or notion of self. Why it's important to analyze? Maybe your fear, your anxiety, your stress, your all like emotional problem is based on something that does not exist at all. Could be. You're like stories about ghosts, then fear that comes with that stories. And that stories, seeing something, in my hometown, in the winter time when you wash clothes, minute you hang out, it froze. Then as a kid, when you go outside, there's no indoor bathroom, you have to go out. So when you look at from the window, looks like somebody's walking towards you because of the wind. So then all this fear of ghosts is built on that. So what we need to do in order to overcome that fear, you need to find out the truth. So just for the reference, so why it's so important to analyze the notion of self or experience of self. Am I my body? Am I solid part of my body? That includes everything that's solid, bone, everything. Am I liquid of my body? You go through. Am I heat inside the body? Am I oxygen that I breathe? Am I space inside my body? Am I my consciousness? So you go through that. Then if your answer is yes, I am my body, so then you have to bring counter argument. So that means pretty much when you die, game is over. Then it's over. Is that right or wrong? Correct assumption or not? So then you go through that kind of debate, self-debate. If I'm my body, what will happen? Yeah. So then you go. So then you maybe reach to the conclusion that you are any of these things. You are any of these things, but experience of self is very vivid, very real. What is it? Now, where is what is self? Now, I went through everything that I went through everything. Now, I did not find self there. If I say, "Oh, I am consciousness," that means consciousness does not have shape and color. That means nobody can see you. That's not true. No, that's against reality. So now then you reach the conclusion, what is self? What is self? This is the base that you label Geshe Gelek, you just call Geshe Gelek. This is the base you call Geshe Gelek or John or Peter or Alex or whatever, so on and so forth. You just call. You just level on this base. So the base and the level, these two different things, cannot be one. Base and the level cannot be one. So then there will be like a problem when you debate. There will be a problem. This is the base that you call prayer will, but prayer will this is the base for prayer will. The prayer will is the level. So self is the level, but that's not how we experience each time. When we experience self, that's not how we experience self, especially when we are criticized, when we are looked down, then that time you feel there's very strong feeling of self, but unfortunately we don't analyze. We don't analyze that experience. Okay, so for the sake of knowledge, that's why it's so important, because we become attached to self in the beginning. So then from there, then there are more complications occur. So what we need to know in order to find out, some shadow that you see in your room, there's not much light in the room, then you start to see the shadow. Then you think that shadow is like mice or cockroach, start to see that your mind projected. But generally speaking, more people don't analyze their thought. They then they start to see the shadow is moving, and then you create antenna of the cockroach. Then you start to move. Then all kind of emotions rise. So now, in order to eliminate all this anxiety, fear based on that object that shadow that you perceive as a cockroach. So then, based on that perceptions, so many things, so many emotional things rise. So now, what is the best way to eliminate for good? Temporarily, maybe you can say some mantra or some prayer that cockroach doesn't come to you. You could do different things. You could say some mantras, say some prayers, but that's not going to eliminate the root of the problems. Mm. So now, or you can meditate on compassions. Mm. So what do you need? You need two things. You need bright light, then you need eyesight, good eyesight to see. With these two things, you can root out the base of all these emotional problems. You could root out. So bright light, so then with the good eyesight, then you find out just like just shadow up something, some stuff in your house. So once you find out that, all this is gone. Here, now, same. The wisdom is like similar like eyesight, wisdom. Mm. So then instructions how to meditate on emptiness, how to begin with the self. So the instruction is like light. And with that, and there's possibilities that you could cut the root of all the problems, okay? Oh yeah, so then you'll be free from, then you'll free from this cycle from this wheel, you'll free from that. Oh. So that's what we've been talking, I think, last two Wednesdays. Oh, just a brief review. So now wisdom, how you define wisdom? Wisdom is the part of our thought has ability to distinguish between what is right or what is wrong. It's not eye consciousness, just see things, that's all, just see things. Whether it's good or not good, this is all done by conceptual thought. It's all done by conceptual thought. Oh. So that's the one, so that then projected, project that you don't like, I like, then all kind of things are projected by conceptual thought. So these five senses, they just give you information. So then conceptual thought is the one decide which one is useful, which one is not useful, which one is like dangerous, which is not dangerous. It's all done by conceptual thought. It's not done by eye consciousness. It's just like the five senses is just feeding you the information. So the conceptual thought is the one that decided. So that the wisdom is part of the conceptual thought, which has ability to distinguish between what is right or what is wrong. That's the definition of wisdom. So now wisdoms, by reading something or listening something, that generate wisdoms. So then wisdoms, by thinking what you read or what you discussed or what you heard and thinking, that's relatively better wisdoms generated by that, wisdom generated by thinking. So then wisdom generated by deep thinking. Could be analytic, right from the beginning could be just analytical meditation. You are just analyzing meditations. So then eventually it's going to be single-pointed meditations. So then that will produce the best form of wisdoms. So that wisdom then liberates. Okay, liberates. Three types of wisdom. Tujungu sharap, samjungu sharap, gomjungu sharap, samjungu. So then the wisdom generated by thinking. Then that's the way to reach to aha moment. That's how you say aha moment. That's how you say in America. You say reach aha moment. So then you focus on that. So then it goes deep and deep. So then from there, so then rising from that deep knowledge, and the whole perception change. Now you realize my world, my experience is my perception. My perception is not like every other single person agree how I see things, how I judge things. People have different perceptions. So that means tobe ongi jigden nam tate, tobe ongi jigden nam tate. Jigden literally means world. World is tobe ongi jigden nam tate. It's like projected by your mind. It's projected by your mind. Projected by your mind. But that's not what we think. We think something out there, something solid, inherent, absolute. So that's a mistake. Okay? That's a brief review. Then maybe move on a little bit. Ti tse rang lo mari be tru onke teta nawa mado nawa teta tenla mindu nyamdu tine loda cheba shi jongs. Through meditation, now you kind of reach to the conclusions that everything, the world means your world used to think there's something absolute, inherent, independent. Now you realize this is all imputed by my conceptual thought. That's all, nothing more, nothing less. That's all. So the good news is that conceptual thought can be improved. That conceptual thought, that's your thought. It's very manageable. You could, transform that thought. So, ti tse ranglo maribe tuye ongis. In Buddhist texts, in the philosophical text, you find this term is called fundamental confusions. What is it? Fundamental confusions. Fundamental and root is the same thing. Root. The root or foundation or root of all these complications is confusions. Not very clear. Each time when we say self, we don't have crystal clear understanding of self. So that's everything began from there. Now you realize this is a notion of self, the experience of self that you used to live on. So now it turns out is very much, it's not very clear. It's not very clear. It's not clear. So that creates all the complications. Now you slowly realize that. Before you used to think, everything's this something solid, independent, absolute. For example, nazo iga medo kachishings, flowers that just blooming in the garden, all the flowers that just blooming in the garden, springtime, nazo iga. Nazo various kind of flowers just start blooming, makes your mind kind of pleased. Nazo yiga medo kachish. That's just one. Seji kanjo babi yuwana. Nazo yiga medo kachish. Seji kanjo babi yuwana. I think Nagarjuna said that. Indian master Nagarjuna said that. Seji kanjo babi yuwana. Beautiful looking house. Beautiful looking house. Tina dila chebo game sa tobe chance. This is this beautiful, various kind of flowers, so seeing them as a beautiful house, beautiful flower, all kind of flowers. All of that is part of your mind. There's not 100% guarantee that everybody will see the same thing, beautiful, Some people may not see it as beautiful because their mind is so negative. All of this is as a your perception. Your perception makes sense? It's your perceptions. It's not like somebody else's perception that you're seeing. It's your perception. It's that's how you perceive. Doesn't mean you're perceiving something that somebody already perceived. So that's good. If you are perceiving if you are perceiving something that somebody is perceiving, makes sense?
Someone else's?
Yeah, someone else's perceptions. If you are perceiving things based on someone else's perceptions, then I cannot imagine that world is going to be so complicated. Could be good, could be complicated. It's just like, so that's your perception, your perceptions. That's what Nagarjuna said, okay? This is Ranglo Maribe Trive Onkes. Because of fundamental confusions, that's how I perceive things. Once you realize that, it's all my perceptions. It's all my perceptions. It's not serious. As I project, I project it. It's not solid as I project it. It's not independent as I project it. It's just my perceptions. My perceptions. Once you realize that, now mado kada, same like here, seeing the shadow as a scorpion. It's just my perceptions. No, it's not just. It's just my perception. It start to move. That's my perceptions. It's coming close to me, walking towards me. That's my perception. It's not like something is walking towards me. It's my perceptions. Once you realize that, so then all this emotional that based on that is gone for good. It's gone for good. Can you see the similarity? Huh? Similarity. So that's why this example has been put there. Similarity. So they're similar. So now you are 100% convinced through your thorough analysis. What do you call analytical meditations? Through analytical meditations, then top of that, single point meditation, now you are 100% convinced things are not the way I perceive. Things are not the way I perceive. Now you're 100% convinced. That's what happened. That's what happened, the result of analytical meditation, single pointed meditation on self. That's what happened at the end. It's like crystal clear sky. Nothing there. You see a cloud, light cloud, different colors, dark, yellow, not yellow, dark, light, smoke, all kind of color. But it's just there. It's not a part of, it's not inseparable with the sky. I used to think this is all inseparable with the sky. Maybe you never saw a sky without cloud. So now you start to see the sky or space without cloud. Yeah. So don't think that I saw, I never saw. I'm just saying. So I'm way behind you. So I never saw anything. But I do think about it. I like think about that. Not much of a Jews. Not just, maybe no. You are 100% convinced through your thorough analysis what is self. Now you are 100% convinced through this thorough analysis of experience of yourself. So then you reach to their conclusions. Everything is just is projected by my mind is not. That's not how things exist. That's how I perceive. And now there's a big difference. Then you see. Tinde lota choba the umeta samu umeta was. So that is called profound middle way view. Profound middle way view. That's what it's called. So that kind of convictions. That conclusion is called profound middle way view, or shunyata, or emptiness. That's what it is. That's what it is, emptiness. Oh. So see, it doesn't mean nothingness. It doesn't mean nothing. It means something very profound. Oh. Umetawashi jedoje. Loda cheba tawa de cheba na nganzu tunangi chebe chadang so lineage tangs. Once you reach to that conclusions, so then all these complications, complications there related to the mind, such as anger, attachment, jealousy, pride, so on and so forth, and top of that, then actions comes out of that, physical, verbal, mental actions, like powered by, so this all like has a disturbing thought, unhealthy thought. Then those things, the actions powered by disturbing thought, then that create more problems, result will be more problem, more complication. All of this will cease, cease for good. Oh. La pudo then techibe dunganam gabajuros, it will cease. Ongbo numbu ngunji paja chen namje, lani koyetawa danzuji lu tetamji. So this explanation, this brief explanation about meditation on shunyata or emptiness is enough for, like I said, is enough for ongbo numbu ngunji paja chen nams. Ombo nombu literally means, sharp mind, which ombo nombu. In this case, it's nothing to do with the sharp mind. It is to do with as a familiarity with the middle way view from as a life before this. Unje paja chen nam lani kowetawa danju, kowetawa danju, self-grasping mind, that is the root of all the problems, according to Buddhist philosophy. Now you think about, you ask yourself questions, what is the root of all the problems? What is root of all the problems? According to Buddhist philosophy, that's how they define root of the problem is self-grasping mind that grabs so tightly on self that we have no clue how to define. That's according to Buddhist philosophy. It's been around like 2,600 years. So now you think about what is the root of all the problems. Maybe you may come up with some ideas, but you can't just accept right away. You have to have debate. You can't just accept right away. You have to have debate. Then you have to explain why that is the root of all the problems. You need to explain. You need to make it sense. You need to explain. Okay. Oh. Just this kind of explanation is enough for someone who is familiar with teaching of emptiness, who knows maybe life before this. So, do you have any experience that, whether you go to different places, when you see people, when you see places, do you ever feel that this looks very familiar? Do you have that experience? So how you explain that experience? How you explain why you have this feeling? Why you have this feeling? How you explain? But we all do. We like there's some certain place that you are very much drawn to, and certain people, certain species, animals, certain places, and feels very familiar. How you explain? How you explain? Beside tendencies, that's on the consciousness corresponding with certain conditions, then the tendencies become alive, become active. That's how, according to Buddhist philosophy, that's how you explain. There are so many tendencies on the consciousness, so when those tendencies correspond with the certain conditions, that tendency will be very active. So that's how, according to Buddhist philosophy, that's how it explains, explain like that. So now, beside that, how you explain why you feel certain place very familiar, there must be some reason. You can't just say random. If it's random, then everybody should feel the same thing, but that's not the case. If it's random, then why you are the only one? Why you are? That means you are special, or I'm not sure what to say. If you say I'm very special, other people may not appreciate that. So then how you explain? So there's no happen to the people, animals, places, different countries, that happens. So how you explain? Well, according to Buddhist philosophical text, there's something to do with the tendencies that's been printed on your consciousness. So then corresponding with certain conditions, then that activates these tendencies. Oh. So just think about it, okay? Just think about it, okay? So now same thing like this text composed by Chandakirti, one of the masters from Nalanda Monastery in India. Now all the masters gone long before, wrote this entering into the middle way. This is the text all about emptiness or shunyata. So that Pandit wrote this text. In that text, it says, when you start to read books that talks about shunyata or emptiness, or you hear somebody talking about emptiness, or you read, then you have this kind of like frequent joy in your mind, frequent joy in your mind. That joy kind of expressed in the physical form, that you may have tears in your eye, or maybe you may have goosebumps. So that clearly indicates that some tendencies already there, that indicate there's some tendencies of shunyata there. So that, Chandakirti said in the text, enter into the middle way. I think that's already translated also in English. But reading the root text probably is hard to understand. If you read the commentary, probably it will make a little more sense. But this particular verse is not that hard to understand. That's exactly what it sounds like in Tibetan, what I said in English, okay? So then for this kind of people who has tendencies, so now their tendency is being activated by listening, hearing, or reading. Their tendency is being activated. So that's why you have this frequent joy, goosebumps, tears, like that. Okay. So for these kind of people, so that explanation is enough. Is enough. They don't need more or less. That's just enough. So from this brief the instructions, then based on that instruction, they will probably find the ultimate truth. They will find the ultimate truth. Okay? Then, so then some people may need more explanations, like exact like me. So need more explanation. Frog, what do you think? The frog says yes. The frog says, Yes, yes, that's absolutely yes. So, danzu de gobe tab ribe cheba chizuni sa ngawo nyambe loti suma tashi nga de rangi pumbi tingdu yona. Yona, tetabe nga de rangi pumbo da chikta se kanta trus. So now, person like me need more explanations. So now they're saying, now you are meditating how I define myself. Then you say, okay, my body, this is me, my body. I am what people see, that's me. Or another way to say is like, I am, you could say I am my body, or you could say I am on the body, in the body, on the body. Which one is the correct English?
Yeah.
In the body, you don't say on the body. On you say the bug is on my body.
Yeah.
You could say bug is on the body, that's correct English.
Yeah.
But I am on the body, that's incorrect. Why is incorrect?
Unless you're sitting on
Clothes are on the body.
Huh?
Clothes are on the body. They're external.
So my question is, why is incorrect English? I'm on my body.
Being on the body is a separation from the body. Being in the body is being sort of one with the body.
So when you say I'm on my body, so that means you feel separate, you and body.
Yeah.
Is that good? Is that good news or bad news?
Maybe we should say that more.
So then, how I should say, say, nga nyambe lo ti suwa tarji nga de rangi pum. So nga means me, I, that notion or experience. Now you start to analyze that notions, I, that try. Now you are trying to analyze the notion of I. Now you are starting to analyze the notion of I. So now you're trying to analyze that I, that you frequently say I, then you're trying to analyze that I. You're trying to analyze. You're starting to analyze that I. If that I is on this body, or no? Huh? Is it on your body or no? That's good. So that means you already see emptiness. So you cannot complain now. From now on, no complaints.
I think in the context that you're saying it on, the I can be on you.
Oh,
I think in this context it works.
Yeah.
so see, you are now analyzing the experience of self. You are saying I. Now you are trying to find that I. Is it on my body? Where is it? So now if somebody asks, where is it? What do you say? Let's just say, okay, it's on my body. According to the text, that's how fast people, when you start analyzing, they say, if you say, let's just assume, if you say it's on my body, let's just assume that you are saying it's on my body. So now the second question is this one with your body or different? The question will not stop there. It will, because you need to find that self. Why is so important to find the self? Because if you don't know what the self is, so then you are so tightly grasping on that, and that makes you so vulnerable, then that creates so much problem. Therefore, it's very, very important to find out. Because the mistake of mistaken notion of self creates so much problems, you know. Then like say, I think indirectly probably, you know, suicide, homicide, all this probably happens, I think. You know. So now you are sitting there very comfortably, like frog here, not exactly like that. That's kind of complicated to sit. So maybe one Wednesday we'll try. I said, no, then you say, okay, what is that I? Where is that I? Then if let's just assume that you say, oh, on my body. Now, next questions, according to instructions, is this one with your body or is different? Why think do you know? That's how you meditate on emptiness. Emptiness doesn't mean you think, oh, there's nothing is there. No, that's not true. There are so many things you see. That's nihilism. If you say nothing is there, that's nihilism. That's one extreme view. That's not middle way. Middle way means freedom from two extreme view. One is nihilism. One is superimposed. 90% is projected, only 10% there. So that's another extreme view. Free from those two views is called middle way, shunyata, emptiness. That's what it's called. So now we reach to that point. Now we say, okay, it's my body. So now further questions, because these people who wrote this text, they've done the meditations. They've reached to the conclusion. They've done the meditation. Now they're helping us how to reach to that level. Rangi Pungpa did the Chikta Sadhya concept to analyze. Is one with my body is all difference. That's how you analyze. Tenyi Kando Madrivi Chuni Misidos. If anything that exists, it has to be one or more than one, otherwise it doesn't exist. Make sense? Anything that exists, it has to be one or more than one, otherwise it doesn't exist. Can you help me to explain? Yeah. Anybody help? It doesn't make sense in my... Huh? If anything that exists, it has to be either one or more than one, otherwise it doesn't exist. So now, if the self exists on this body, it has to be either one or more than one. So now, you can't say, oh, is neither one with my body nor different. You cannot say that. It logically doesn't make sense. Is that correct? It doesn't make sense. You already said, oh, I is experience of I that I analyze. I'm trying to find that I. Then I end up saying that I is on my body. So now, is this one with my body or different? You can't say, oh, neither. So that doesn't make sense. And then why first place you say it's on the body? So you already said this, but let's just assume. No? So now if you say, okay, now I already said it's on my body. Now I said it's one with my body. One with my body. This very body that you are saying that self is on this body and one with this body. One with, not just saying, you are saying two things. First assumption or conclusion is on my body. Second, you are saying this, it is one with my body. Huh? Oh, so this very body is the product of sperm and egg. That's what it is. I think probably nobody will argue. You know, that's what it is. So like 9 months, 10 days, generally speaking, mother's womb, dagushaju, 9 months, 10 days, dagushaju could go 1 month, 1 extra month. Generally speaking, 9 months, 10 days. Oh. So before that, it is like there's probably names. Tibetan also there's name, you know, like how that the whole process of taking form in the before, what it looks like now even better. You can see. Before you cannot see. Unless you have clairvoyance, then you can see. Now you don't need clairvoyance, you have machines. Machine to see. Now you see. The whole process you can see. That's quite amazing, you see. So that's what it is. That's. Now, if somebody pinpoint, is that you? You say, oh, of course not. You say, no. So there's nothing. Even though it becomes like a little bit like shape, like, but it's no limbs, then you can, is that you? People say, no, of course not. So now then, you know, then when we die, so this body will disintegrate. So that means you are finished. This argument, you bring it up. So what do you say now? What do you say? You can say, or you cannot say, I'm not going to say anything. That's probably not, that's not a very good way to debate. You need to say something. So then if you say, oh, yeah, right, so when body is cremated, game is over, it's finished. A lot of people know, when I meet people, I was kind of curious. I ask randomly people, what will happen when you die? Some people say nothing. Some people say game over. Some people say something will go on. Anyway, So what will be the answer? What will be the answer? Think about that. Okay, what will be the answer? Of course, Buddhism believes life before this, life after that. This is just small portion. There's a small part of the bigger rivers. River is long, that's been there. It's just small part of the river. It's not the entire river. This is a small part of the river. So it's easy from the Buddhist philosophical point of view. It's easy to answer because when the body cremated, selves continue, I continues. So now living in the modern society that's very much influenced by science. What do you say? What do you say? Think about what do you say? So then there are, if you say the game is over, there are so many things that needs to explain. So there's not just that, there are many things that need to think about. Then you must have about this. Then Tanganya Berlo didn't Toma Meba Lewangi Lureshi Wongza. So that's according to Buddhist philosophy. So each time when you take new form, the sense of self is already there. It's not just, oh, this is the first time it's happening. So it also need to think about, so as I mentioned in the Sunday class, before this, who are you? Are you some kind of redwood tree from the California? Those questions need to be asked and debate, not easily accept and ask and debate. The debate. Probably we have all kinds of clues that we receive, but lack of our mindfulness, and we usually there are so many clues that we every day in this life, but we because our mind's always busy thinking something clue that related to your interests of your interest, and there are probably many clues. Clue related to shape, clue related to the form, clue related to the sound, smell, taste, tactile. There's probably many clues, because we are constantly feed information through these five senses. Probably there's certain information like probably carrying some clue, but we don't usually pay attention. So, Then so on Ludin the Tone Jan Lewangi Ludishi less. So according to Buddhism, it's quite easy to answer because life before this, life after that, you can't say when the body is cremated, it's game over. It's not game over. So according to Buddhist philosophy, it's not game over. So easy to answer. So if you say now it's game over, unfortunately, you cannot really find out now. Right? You can't find out now. So maybe time of death, then maybe it's a little bit too late. You feel that something's going on, then I think there's nothing much you can do. Question is, what you start to do something for many life in the future? What is the lost? What's the lost? What's the lost? What do you lose?
If you work toward the future.
Future, what do you lose? If there's something goes on, it benefits. If you do nothing, so then it's nothing. There will be no benefit. Ludin Tolja Lewang Ludish Leisure Tis, Ludin Ti Ting to Nganga Nyamdo, Jimba Yimbe, Tunang Onge Teda, Saji Pumotova Mazum, Koajam, Pumo de Chim. So that's how you, how is that's how you bring counter arguments. If you say, I am one with my body, then that's the argument you bring it up. So then eventually that person needs to let it go, their assertions. So now that's not, So then, then you change your mind again, you change your perceptions. Yeah. Now I change, that's when I say I'm with my body, one with my body, there's so much question that rise, I probably realize there's no way to answer them. Or maybe there's no answer. So now I'm going to say it's different than my body. Now I'm going to say there's only one choice left now. I'm going to say I'm different than my body. So now what will happen? You can just, okay, fine. You don't say that, okay, fine. It's not fine. You need to debate, okay. Okay, Geshe Gelek said, I'm now different than my body. That's fine, so I'm different than the body. Down the road is not good. Sooner or later you will find out truth. Because mind start to think. You can stop people's mind if people start to think. No, so so now loss you not tinde nga diwo. Loss you not that's it. Ngawanya do now the Pumbo loss you the Nyam to Tedasu Pumbo not the Pumbo loss made. So now you then counter argument say, oh no. Self is not is not it doesn't exist beside this body. If you say it's no, first you say it's on the body, it's one with the body. Now you say it's different than body. It means it's like nothing to do with the body. It's like different. Also, this is all meditation. That's how you meditate. Also, you're not now, first thing you say, sure, where is it? You say it's not here. Now, you say it's like, how is it, outside the body. You could say outside the body. Then say, show me. Show me. Okay, that's the first argument, counter argument. Show me. Where? Then shows that. Then you mean to was Lula me regwana, not sajung segi, session, lots than namas. When your finger burned, then you say, I'm burned. That clearly shows you can't say, oh, me exists without this body, somewhere else. Then why you say, when your finger burned, why you say you burn? That's how you meditate. That's how then you need to answer. Not such a session. Lola, you say, oh, I'm hurt because your finger is hurt. Then you say, I'm hurt. You don't say, oh, my hand is hurt, I'm fine. You don't say that. If you say something like that's pretty good news, but you don't say that. So no, so my finger was hurt. I'm okay. So don't say that. When your finger hurts, so then say I'm hurt. No. You say, but you say also. You at the same time you think like that. That's your perception like that. Nada pumbo ni susu yena pumbo la rebola. If this self and the body is separated, somebody touch your body, you cannot say, oh, they touch me. You can say, no, they don't touch me. So if somebody touch you, then you say, oh, they touch me. So that means, no. So that indicates that is very much, that's the core relationship with body and self. It's not separate. It's not one. Kind of complicated. It's not one, but it's not separate. So that's how you analyze. That's how you go through thorough analysis. That's how you analyze. So this is explanation is for me, somebody who has no tendency of emptiness. Or the so if this separate, you cannot say that, I was hurt, I was touched, somebody touched me. God's voice is like, you can't say, if I touch here, the frog cannot say that Geshe Gelek touched me, I touched cat. If the frog says, oh, Geshe Gelek touched me, that's lie. I didn't touch, same like that, You can't say somebody touched you, you cannot say they touched me, because now you and your body is like frog and cat. There's nothing to do. It's separate. So otherwise you can say, oh, touching the cat's ear, the frog will say, oh, don't touch my ear. I will not say it because it's separate, no different. Nada pumonji susu yena, pumonji ngaramidus. Pena kawada pumonji susu yebe, kawala rebo. Oh, time is over, so I'll stop. So got a little excited, sorry. Got a little excited. So then continue. So that's, you can, start to meditate. Okay, you don't have to wait text to finish. You can just meditate and see what happens and see what kind of experience you gain. Especially when you feel so I pause, analyze. In the end, there's nothing to look for. There's nothing to look for. What in this space, what you look, there's nothing to look for. It's just, there's nothing. You can't say it's completely nothing. There's something that's called space, but there's nothing there. Nyamsha, nangwatabe toni, nyamsha, meditative equipoise, or you could say deep meditations. What do you see? Something. What it looks like space, nothing else. So now it's not that. That's not the experience when we start to meditate. All kind of things you see. All kind of things you see. It's not like that. Okay. This is the meditation that guides you to that, reach to that level. Guides you to that level. Okay. So when you start to meditate now, so then that's like then it's all, the process all begin. Process begin. The process already begin. Okay. So how long? Nobody knows. Who knows? I don't know. If you know, then please tell me. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. So then next Wednesday continue.
So in the Go Prayer Book, turn to page 191, and we'll chant the praises to the 21 Taras.
And eventually in this text also teach us how to use this meditation on emptiness to heal yourself. Physically heal yourself. So that will come. So somehow you have karma, because I've been carrying this text all the way to California when the few times it start open, then that doesn't feel like, so then come back here. So it start from here. So I bought this text many times here. Then each time when I open, oh maybe no, not today, not today. So anyway, yeah.
We'll start with the invocation. From your sublime abode at the Potala, O Tara, born from the green letter Tam, your crown adorned with Amitabha, action mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, Tara, please come with your attendants. The gods and demigods bow to your lotus feet, O Tara. You who rescue all who are destitute, to you, Mother Tara, I pay homage. Om, I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage, Tara, sister heroic, eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of Hearers, turbone lotus. Homage, she whose face combines 100,000 moons at fullest, blazing with bright rays resplendent, as 1,000-star collection. Homage, golden blue and lotus, water-born and hand-adorned, giving effort from austerities, patience, meditation, hers. Homage, crown of Tathagatas, action triumph without limit, relied on by conqueror's children, having reached every perfection. Homage, feeling with Tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with their feet the 7 worlds, able to draw forth their beings. Homage, worshipped by the all, or Shakyamuni Buddhia, honored by the host of spirits, corpses, Kadampas, Yakshas. Homage with her tread and face sound, destroying with magic diagrams, her feet pressing left out right, blazing in a raging fireblaze. Homage to the very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champions. She with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart her fingers, adorn her with 3 jewel mudra. Light ray masses all excited, all the riches who adorn her. Homage, she's so joyous, radiant, crowning, emitting garlands of light, her full laughing with Tutare, subjugating Mara's devas. Homage, she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with their home signs, saving from every misfortune. Homage, crown adorned with crescent moon, anonymous but shining, Amitabha in her hair now, sending out much light eternal. Homage, she was free the blaze, beyond ending fire abiding, right that flippant joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage, she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter 7 levels you just conquer. Homage, happy, precious, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana. She endowed with Om and Soha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage, she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder. Praises whom in knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to the seed the shape of syllable, whom by perceptive shakes his 3 worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya. Homage, holding in her hand the Himekun of Deva-like form, Katara unpaid, totally dispelling poison. Homage, she with gods and their kings, and the Kinnara's do honor. Armored in our joyful splendor, she dispels the dreams and conflicts. Homage, she whose 2 eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with Haisara and Tutare, she dispels the fear contagion. Homage, full of liberating, power by the set of 3 natures, Drissa, spirits, Yakshas, and race corpus supreme today. These praises with the mantras and prostrations thus are 21. I want to turn to page 190, and let's read the prayer of the benefits. Whoever is endowed with devotion for the goddess and recites this with supreme faith, remembering at dawn upon waking and in the evenings, will be granted all fearlessness, will perfectly pacify all negativities, and will eliminate all unfortunate migrations. The multitudes of conquerors will quickly grant initiation. Thus endowed with this greatness, one will eventually reach the state of a Buddha. If affected by the most terrible poison, whether ingested, drunk, or from a living being, just by remembering will one be thoroughly cleansed. If this prayer is recited 2, 3, or 7 times, it will pacify all the sufferings of torments caused by spirits, fevers, and poisons, and by other beings as well. If you wish for a child, you will get a child. If you wish for wealth, you will receive wealth. All your wishes will be fulfilled, and all obstacles pacified. Now the dedication prayer, let's see, on page 263. Final Lamrim dedication. For my two collections, vast as space, that I have immersed for working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives. Manjushri. May I find the best of completed graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. For the points of the path as I have discerned them, may I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once have spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded path of enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons, may all human and non-human beings will eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths, never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahana virtuous practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. And the long life prayers on 244, 245. Kanira we korwe shinkamde, pendande wa malu shingwene, chenre sigwan tenzin gyatsoi, shapesite badu tengyu chi, jonu iana langwa jortu, awatare tembara zopa, lozangewe de ton lek pelsho, shase gengyo lama soade. Tupsu jan jin jan gengewe. Tenzin kyompewe kunzu do podze choksum kurwele mutudu padok so duje gundu japten sho. 7 green taros mantras for Geshe and Geshe samples. Long, healthy, happy life. Om taritu re soha. 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 Om taritu re soha.